Alright, what is going on, guys? Xtimus here. Today, I'm giving you guys a budget Uber Tristram Warlock, and this is going to be an Eldritch build. If you are new to Diablo 2, this might be difficult for you. However, if you guys have been on Diablo 2 for a long time, I think this should be fairly simple for you guys to do, and I think the fight is relatively easy. Not as easy as a smiter, however, I think I did a good job, and it's a pretty cheap build as well. So we're going to go through the itemization, the skills, and then show you guys the gameplay. Timestamps are in the description below if you just want to skip through the video. Let's get started. So I'm going to go into some details about this build so you guys maybe try to understand exactly what is happening here with this build, because in my opinion the Warlock is quite the complex class, even for myself playing for 25 years. And I do just want to say that I'm very new to the class. I'm not saying that any of this is perfect, so obviously feel free to correct me on anything in this build at all. I'd actually appreciate it very much, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So let's go through the itemization here. So starting off with the weapon here, I'm using Immortal King's Stone Crusher. And this is really nice because it's really cheap, and I try to do that with all my builds. I try not to use grief or anything like that because I know there's people out there that want a true budget build. So Immortal King is really cool, and I never thought that I would be using a two-handed weapon on a spellcaster class with a shield. So here we are though, and Immortal King's weapon is really good because it's cheap, we get lots of crushing blow, decent enhanced damage, and also we get a lot of attack speed as well. The extra fire damage, I guess, is okay. It doesn't really matter that much. So Immortal King, I think, is really good for this build. And for the armor, I'm using Duress. This is an armor that I talk about all the time. I think people don't use it enough. And I think it's really good because it has Crushing Blow and Open Wounds. The Open Wounds is really going to help us with Baal. And the resistances are really good as well. It's not awesome. I mean, it's still pretty good, and it's a cheap rune word. It's not Chains of Honor or anything like that, so Duress is very nice, and people should recommend them more often, in my opinion, in videos. And then I'm using Kira's. Obviously, this is really good for the all resistances. We get mass resistances. We have Cannot Be Frozen as well. So I don't even need to use a Raven Frost, and Raven Frost sometimes can be expensive, and we don't really need the attack rating. The dex, I guess, helps. We don't need attack rating because we're going to be using mirrored blades, and this is really good because it doesn't require any attack rating. It's kind of like Smite. So Kira's is really good. And for the amulet, I'm using High Lords, and then for the shield, I'm using Storm Shield. And this, I think, is really good because the Warlock just didn't have very good survivability in Uber Tristram, and I think this worked out really well because I can get a high chance of blocking. You get the damage reduction. It's just, I think Storm Shield really helped this build be more viable in Uber Tristram because I couldn't find any other way to make the survivability good. So Storm Shield, I think, is a win for this build. And then I'm using Gore Riders. This is for the Crushing Blow, Open Wounds, Deadly Strike. And then I'm using 2 Dwarf Stars. So this will be really nice to get that mass fire absorb. And again, we don't need Raven Frost because I have Kira's on, and we don't need the attack rating from Raven Frost either because Mirrored Blades doesn't require any attack rating, and it's very similar to Smite. And then I'm using Laying of Hands. This is really good for the attack speed and resistances. For the belt, I'm using Immortal King's. This is another belt that I think people should use more often. It's so overpowered. It's super cheap. You get all that strength, which helps you with the requirements. And you also get mass resistances. So 31% lightning resist, 28% fire resist. Immortal King's is just one of the goated cheap items in Diablo 2 that no one talks about. And then on Switch, I'm using a Life Tap Wand. You're absolutely going to need to have this to do Uber Tristram. You can buy it from the merchants. I got it from Mala in Act 5. Just be prepared to spend a lot of gold because it's very expensive, and you're definitely going to need this. So I don't recommend using Drax either because this build has very slow attack speed. You're just not going to be proccing life tap enough with Drax, so you're definitely going to have to use a life tap wand. And then I have a spirit as well. I guess that just helps with the cast speed. You don't have to have a spirit there. It does help though because you want to get that off really quick. Going to need to move quickly because Uber Mephisto is very quick and things are just happening very quickly when you're in Uber Tristram. So, and then in my inventory, I'm just using an Annie random Annie, random torch, and I have a treachery as well. So we're going to need this for the fade, which is going to give us even more resistances. So we're just going to put treachery on, and then we'll switch back to duress once we get the fade proc. And then for the mercenary, I don't have a mercenary. You don't need to have one. It'll be fine without it. So, and then for the skills, I put 20 points into Mirrored Blades, 20 points into Levitation Mastery. And again, Mirrored Blades is really good because it doesn't require any attack rating and works like Smite against Ubers. I put 1 point into Hexbane. And then here's where things get interesting. I put 20 points into Deathmark, and I put 20 points into Consume. So what's going to happen is I'm going to summon a Goatman, and then I'm going to consume him, and then that's going to give me some extra life, crushing blow, and extra damage. So we can just go ahead and summon him, and when you summon him, you'll get the reading here that says bonuses from Goatman, and you'll also get the life. You also get run speed as well. So this is really good, and it just, the crushing blow is great because we're gonna need it. And then for chaos, I put 1 point into this sigil and 1 point into this one. So this one specifically, the very first sigil, this is really going to help against Uber Tristram because we're going to be able to slow them. This also makes your damage a lot better as well. So this is definitely going to be one of the main things that you need to do in Uber Tristram. As soon as the fight starts, you're going to have to cast this, and then you're going to have to cast Life Tap. When we get into the fight, you'll see what I mean. And then for the attributes here, it's kind of random. I got my chance to block to 57%. That seemed to work out pretty well. I didn't want to put too many points into Dex because I wanted to make sure I have a decent amount of life as well. Enough strength to use my items, and obviously energy none, and then all extra points and the majority of the points into vitality. All right, so let's just get into the boss fight, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's go. So the first thing we want to do is go and stand in the fire over here and put on our treachery. And then we just wait for the fade to proc. We're pretty close to 300%, which is perfect resistances against Uber Mephisto. And we're going to put Duress back on. Going to cast Hexbane, Psych Ward, and Eldritch Blast. And we're going to want to make sure that we use this sigil right here as soon as we see Uber Mephisto so we can slow him. And then immediately we're going to cast Life Tap, and then we're going to start doing some melee damage. Easy. So, and we will do the same with Baal. For my health to go up. You know what? And I totally forgot to cast my demon as well. And Mephisto was that easy, so gonna be even easier with Baal. Get him to teleport. Switch and cast Life Tap. Gonna want to make sure you have lots of mana pots as well, because Baal's mana burn is not fun. You also want to make sure you keep recasting the sigil as well, and also recasting the Life Tap. Easy. We'll rebuff. Grab these potions here. Life Tap and Sigil on Diablo. Easy. Check the torch. Amazon. And GG's. Alright, so that's about it for the video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave me a comment and let me know how the build is. If you guys have any suggestions, please make a comment and I'd be happy to adjust the build as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys are enjoying the new expansion, and I love you guys so much. Take care.